Hey there guys, I am SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog.
Black Doom claims to have knowledge of my past. He claims that I had promised to deliver the 7 Chaos Emeralds to him. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's the only one I can trust for clues about my past. I defeated those who dared to try and stop me. Now, 2 of the Chaos Emeralds are mine. The 3rd emerald was said to be inside of some kind of cyberspace database. I went into this digital realm, destroyed the core program, and got the emerald. Now there are 4 left, and I must find them. Where am I? Isn't that Dr. Eggman? Maybe he can tell me about those black creatures.
So out of cyberspace and into Dr. Eggman's secret castle area, let's go ahead and enter stage 3 of the Dark Pathway, Cryptic Castle.
The doctor must have gone this way.
Oh, Shadow, I'm so glad you're here. Cream went into this weird-looking castle and she hasn't come back out. Will you go in there with me to look for her?
So I could help out Amy find Cream, or I could also help Eggman, but
I've got to get out of this castle first.
Shadow said it best. We gotta get out of the castle. So we're back to a neutral mission story here. We can go ahead at this point and continue the dark path by helping out Eggman, but we want to stick to the semi-dark path this time around. So we're going to be taking care of the neutral mission to start things off. So let's select the mission and continue our way forward. Got ourselves a platform here. We can go ahead, press the X button to flip it over, and now we can fall down this hole. And right here, we got ourselves a balloon. Go ahead and ride this, and we'll be taken to our next section of the level. Got a grind rail here, as Shadow saying. We can grind this, but we have these torches here, and if we take one of these and we light up these flames, something appears, and now we can use this little spring contraption to move forward.
Hey, Shadow! The black creatures have infiltrated my castle. I'd like you to go and light those giant lanterns. They're part of my special defenses.
So we can help out Eggman light up all of his lanterns, but we only need to light up one right now to actually continue the way forward in the level, so that's what we're going to be doing. Just lighting up one of these, and we're just going to continue moving on.
This is going to take me back to the same place. I need to pick out where to jump down to.
So I can jump down any one of these little castle openings, right? Well, it seems like there's really only one way to go. So I'll listen to Eggman, which I'm not even partnered with, and I'll go down. But you gotta be careful on the way down, as those little blue orbs, those are ghosts, and those ghosts can actually hurt you on the way down. So if you're not careful, you will take some unnecessary damage like I just did there. Here we get ourselves 10 rings out of that little random orb, so that wasn't really the best payout. And here, I'm gonna grab me the vacuum gun and suck up enemies all around me, but fortunately for our sake, we can't suck up anything that's bigger than the vacuum gun. So in this case, this black arm alien, we can't suck up, but we do want to damage it so we can ride on its back. We've already kind of gone over flying controls in this game, but Shadow will repeat them, just in case this is your first level using one of these creatures. But we can use the A button to accelerate here. You can still use your guns on the back of one of these creatures, but not a melee weapon, keep that in mind. And you move up and down and all around to control your movement. It's a very simple control. Unfortunately, at the very end of this section, your controls do lock up, so if you're running straight into a wall, well, you're running straight into a wall. You cannot control Shadow at that point to correct your, well, altitude or even like your overall direction. It's kind of an annoying thing, if you want to be honest. I don't know why you can't control yourself at the very end of this section. It's just not the best kind of design, if you want to be honest. Just gonna suck up all these aliens, and that's actually enough to fill up the vacuum. So now we got ourselves 3 extra lives out of that vacuum gun. which is super helpful because if you ever need to grind up lives in Shadow Hedgehog, just find yourself that vacuum, because that egg vac, it can really be good at getting you a bunch of lives. Doubly so if you've beaten both bosses on the neutral pathway route. So by doing so, now you get the 3 extra lives once that thing sucks up 30 enemies. And when you find more of those vacuums, you just keep on doing that until it fills up, rinse and repeat. And that's a very easy way for you to grind out lives in Shadow Hedgehog. It's so nice. Well, we're at the end of our ropes here, so I'm just going to continue forward. And here we got ourselves some boxes we can shoot, get some rings, get ourselves a shield. But we got some more aliens here. Give us enough meter for chaos control. Let's get out of here. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, door in way. Can't go any further than door. I must light up these torches around said door. Get stuck on a thing. I literally cannot move. I actually got stuck. Couldn't even chaos control out. That is a first. I'm gonna drop this torch because if I get too close to this thing of TNT, it will blow it up. We don't need that torch anymore, so we're fine to leave it alone. I grab this, go over here, see a crack right behind this dresser. And sure enough, leads to some bombs and looks like a key. I'm gonna ignore that key, but thankfully right now they gave us 2 bombs, more than enough to continue forward. Here we got ourselves a rocket launcher. Grab this. Now I can blow open these walls right next to me, left and right. We go over to the right side here. We see ourselves another thing of TNT, but also we got ourselves some torches we can grab, which is perfect. As over in our left side, we do have a thing we can light up here, which we definitely want to do so we can continue moving on. Now, if we use this torch as a melee weapon, it doesn't really do that much damage, and it takes a lot of ammo. Just trying to kill those 2 egg pawns alone took up all 8 of my swings. It's really pathetic, if you want to be honest. This is why I don't really like using melee weapons in Shadow the Hedgehog. They just simply don't do enough damage for the amount of ammo you get. It is just pitiful. But in this room, we got a bunch of Chow. We don't really need to do anything with the said Chow. We can ignore them, which is what I choose to do. Here, as Shadow's saying, we can try a jump, but unfortunately for me, I just kind of fell off like gum that just has no more stick to it. Trying to put it under a desk. Shadow would be that kind of person trying to do that. So let's just continue on here. We got ourselves our final section of the level. Big old grinding section, which if you just press the X button multiple times to go fast, you're going to be chased by this creature that will never be able to catch up because you're going to gain so much speed and you just outrun them. You're supposed to go back and forth on the rails, but again, smash the X button, get all your speed, and now you're at the end of Cryptic Castle.
The doctor's gotta be this way.
Well, hopefully the doctor is this way. Otherwise, we made our way all through this castle for nothing.
Perfect.
Heading back in the Cryptic Castle, let's go ahead and help out Amy this time around and find Cream and Cheese. So, mission on this one's pretty simple. We gotta find 2 lost people in the level. Find both Cream and Cheese, and your mission is complete. As Amy's saying, both of them are somewhere in this castle, but not in the same location. So we'll need to keep that in mind. Throughout our neutral pathway playthrough, I did not see either one of them in the said level. So we're gonna have to definitely keep an eye out and explore a little bit more Cryptic Castle this time around in comparison to last time. But one thing I want to mention now that we're playing through this level once again and doing one of the other mission types are the enemies. Because Eggman here is asking for our help, and same for Amy when it comes to just getting through this place, but we got ourselves the black arms, but also Eggman pawns. Eggman pawns are the enemies we actually want to avoid this time around, which does sound to be kind of a weird thing, because Eggman is a bad guy. But if we attack the Ed pawns while we're playing through the hero mission, we're going to be filling up the dark gauge, which we don't want to do because, as a reminder in these kind of missions, you want to gain more hero points than dark points to get a higher score. Any points you get of the opposing side detracts from your overall total. So in this case, getting more dark points than hero points is going to be a problem, and we don't want to be just causing ourselves to lose the A rank because we're destroying too many egg pawns. Here, if we throw a bomb at this left wall, we find Cream!
Oh, Shadow, But she's wandered off into that castle, Shadow. You have to find her.
So unfortunately, cheese is not whipped cream, so we're gonna have to go further in the level to find the chow, but that shouldn't be all too difficult if you want to be honest. We have ideas of where we can look, as we still have a lot more of this said level left. Gonna grab me the vacuum egg here because this is a really good gun, as we always go over, one of my favorites in the game. Kill this alien and ride on its back to the next section here. Thankfully at this portion we have a lot of the aliens we can kill, which can definitely help our hero meter, but they're a little too big for a vacuum gun to suck up, so some of these we're not going to be able to actually kill, while others are the right size for this thing to actually absorb. It's kind of weird when you think about it. Some aliens are a little bit bigger here than others. I don't know how, but they just are. This time I'm going to stay a little more to the left instead of going over to the right side like I did in the neutral mission, because I learned my lesson from last time. A little too close to that wall. You will regret it. I only meant to suck up the alien, not mean to suck up the egg pawn. Sorry, Eggman. For once, that's actually a bad thing to do for the good side. Amy, it's fine. They're in my vacuum. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You are safe. I'm down here, vacuum up more of these disgusting little creatures, as Amy puts it. Destroy that little alien fruit thing. Not exactly sure what these are doing in this area, because this is all concrete. It's not really taking any power from the planet, trying to feed off of energy around you, because this is man-made. So I'm not 100% sure what these things are really doing right now for Black Doom and his troops, but we'll get rid of them anyways, because it does have our score. Anyway, I'm not listening to you. I am not going up. I'm going down. Got ourselves 3 more lives. That's really helpful. Be very careful of these aliens. I'm going to attack you, and I'm going to get out of here. Chaos control. Let's get at it. I forgot about this wall. That's disappointing. Hit this. Maybe we can actually light this up without a problem. Good. Chaos control again. Skip some of these walls. Get into an unloaded section, you know, as you do. And unfortunately, we have to build up that dark meter a little bit. Sorry. Just trying to make my way out of here. Don't mind me. Good guy at the end of the day, I swear. Going through this little trippy looking section, we'll be at pretty much the end stretch of the level, but this is a makeshift chow garden in the game. We got a whole bunch of chow, but I don't see the one we're looking for. She's the chow, may look like a normal chow, but they wear a bow tie around their neck. If we go over here, as Amy's saying, she hears cheese. I don't really hear what you're hearing, Amy, so I'll take your word for it. But if we go further into this section and just wait for this wall to keep on moving on its own, we'll eventually get into a pit area here, and inside the pit is Cheese the Chow. And now that we found him, we completed the hero story mission.
If you want to stay clear of trouble, then stay away from that doctor.
I mean, we've seen all the damage that Eggman can do, so Shadow is right. Stay away from Eggman if you don't want to get hurt.
Perfect.
Heading back in the Cryptic Castle once again, let's go ahead and complete our final mission here, which is the Dark mission. So, this mission has us lighting 5 torches in the stage. Doing that, we will complete the said mission. This time around, though, our alliance is going to have us attacking Eggman's own troops, so he's going to chew us out for this, but I'm just going to decide to tune him out the whole time and not listen, because hurting him is benefiting him. Don't worry. You'll know this will be good for you later, Eggman. Just trust me.
It looks like I can grind.
And there's so many Eggman robots in the stage, this really works out for us. This one here, for example, on this little balloon juggling some fireballs, this one we can take out right away. I'm trying to be very careful, because this guy, yeah, he has a lot of explosives, and I don't want him to explode next to me, because that'll do a lot of damage. But that right there is an enemy taken care of. Going up to the top section, we meet Eggman's little satellite dish thing. Reminds me of actually a boss from Bomberman Hero. I don't really want to say exactly which one because it's pretty late into the game. But there's a boss that also uses a flying television like Eggman uses here to communicate with Bomberman. It's a really cool idea, especially for a boss fight too.
Don't go smashing up my robot.
That's a game definitely I recommend a lot of people play if they're into Bomberman games, because it's very different, but at the same time, it's still a pretty fun game on its own merits. It's just kind of hard nowadays to track down a copy because it is an N64 game. Retro games are much harder to get a hold of, as they are getting harder and harder to purchase for reasonable prices, along with the idea of just these systems now showing their age, make them a little bit harder to actually play games on them, because a lot of systems are starting nowadays to fall apart in general when it comes to reading discs or cartridges, or maybe just not work with memory cards, controller ports. Recently I actually had to fix up my original GameCube that I got back in 2002, as the disc reader was no longer working correctly. I had to open the system up and fix up the laser reader, because if I didn't do that, then the system would no longer be able to read discs, which is a really big deal for a system that relies on playing games via discs. So that would have been really bad, unfortunately, if the system no longer can read its own disc format, and I have to replace that entire system at that point just to play GameCube games on original hardware. I know you can play GameCube games on a Wii, and I am technically playing Shadow the Hedgehog on a Wii right now, as that is my preferred way of playing a lot of GameCube games. It just gives me higher visual quality using component cables without spending a fortune on original component cables, even a homebrew-made solution. But then also, it's just easier in a lot of ways too to play with this system, because you do have homebrew for GameCube on Wii, which gives you a lot more options for a lot of different things, and that definitely helps you want to just play games without using your discs and use your own personal rips just for archival purposes, as I do that sometimes as well. That's a really good idea if you want to keep your discs alive and well without just doing too much damage to them by taking them in and out of these cases, because honestly, after a while, I feel I'm going to snap a game in half trying to take it out of its box. These cases, they really love holding these games in there, they really do. So I try my very best to avoid using the disc sometimes if I don't have to. Although in the case of something like this, I'd rather use the disc. Be authentic and all that, right? Also, I do have fire. Please be quiet, Eggman. I am trying to light your torch. I am literally going 5 steps forward and then turning around. Please, just give me a second. Eggman sometimes does that in the level, which can be a little annoying. If you're ever so slightly off the path, it just, like, he freaks out. It's like, Eggman, it's fine, I'm right here. Don't worry, I'm coming back. But yeah, we kind of got like this big tangent about just hardware in general in retro games because of me seeing Eggman's like floating CRT television screen. Sometimes it happens. Man, we played this level at least 2 times already. This one, you just go on some slightly different paths, and that's essentially the big difference here. For the most part, everything else plays out the exact same. So we've played this level multiple times at this point, and everything for the most part is the same. It really doesn't feel like that different of a mission than just going to the goal, but just having some things along the way for you just to interact with. And in this case, for one, I'm gonna Chaos Blast this, because get me out here a little bit faster. Eggman, this is for your own good, I swear. But in this case, we also just have most of the same sections with just some deviations here and there. It's the ending of the stage that gets really interesting. This is one of my favorite parts right here. This Chow Garden, if you interact with these Chows and hit them, they actually fill up your Dark Gauge. So we just filled up a lot of our Dark Gauge by just attacking a bunch of Chow with Chaos Blast. Here we want to go ahead and light this torch in the center, because that wall we just looked at on our left is now open. And from here we only have one more torch that we need to light up, and then we'll be done. And in this room, we got ourselves a set of torches just scattered all throughout that we want to go ahead and use this pumpkin balloon to fly around, light these 3 torches up. Doing so, we will eventually get back to where we started, and now we'll see a doorway has opened up for us, which is very convenient. So I'm gonna grab me a gun here, get me some more ammo for it, because I like to have more ammo. I'm very careful here with Lightspeed Dash, because Lightspeed Dash in Sonic games scare me. Sometimes you go straight, sometimes you go straight up or straight down. It kind of depends on how big of an angle you are going into the ring trail. This is just how it's always been, I swear, in Sonic games. To be fair, Lightspeed Dash in this game is probably the best it's ever been, simply because not only is it tweaked more so it's a lot more accurate. But also, you have a faint trail of rings that are left behind after you do the Lightspeed Dash in case this is a section you have to repeat later in order for you to come back for extra objectives. By doing it that way, it makes it so the Lightspeed Dash is much easier to actually pull off correctly. So that extra little thing doesn't just help for backtracking, it also helps for just making your way through the stage in general. But now with all that out of the way, one more torch to light up, light her on up, and now the dark mission is complete.
I'm one step closer to getting the truth from the doctor. I will not let him interfere with my plans.
And all I had to do was beat up a bunch of Eggman robots to get Eggman's mission completed. Sorry, but not sorry.
Perfect.
Alright, we're heading back into Cryptic Castle one final time to get the 5 secret keys and see what lies behind the secret door in this said stage. So our first key here in Cryptic Castle is pretty early on in the stage. So right after we meet Amy here, we see in front of us this big tower that normally we will just go into the building and then fall straight down in the hole that's just presented right in front of us, but we don't go to the other section of this tower, because immediately when we get to the top, we just go straight ahead. But if you come up top to the said tower, turn around, and there'll be a key here on the right side of this said stage. So, if you want to go ahead and continue forward here in this said halfway, you get a weapon and also a 20 ring capsule inside of the tower itself, so you get some nice goodies here. Our next key here is much further into the stage. Right after the 5th checkpoint, we want to go ahead and work our way forward a little bit more in the stage and go inside of the castle a little bit here, because on our right side, we've seen out of a glimpse of our eye, there is a container that is guarded by one of the Black Arm aliens. And in that said container is our next key. So, gonna backtrack into the castle a little bit, see ourselves an alien here guarding this said container, take him out, and now we got ourselves our second key. Our third key isn't that far away from key number 2 here, so we're gonna just continue forward a little bit more into the level, and this section here is right next to where you would light your third torch if you're playing the dark mission. So we want to just go ahead, continue forward here a little bit, and just grab ourselves a torch, light these said flames up, and from here, we're going to be very careful. Drop your torch when you're near a TNT container, because you will blow it up with the flames, which will damage Shadow if that blows up near him, so be very careful. But in this room, we saw this key before. Blow up the dresser on the right side of the wall here, and behind the said wall is a key. Now, making our way to our final flame here in the dark mission. This is very far into the level, and you will need to light the 4th flame in order to get to this Blackhawk section. But in this section, there is a key. This one is pretty easy to miss, as it's located on the right side here, just next to one of these said pillars, so keep an eye out. It's near the end of the Blackhawk section here. Don't hold the A button to go too fast to give yourself some time to actually grab the key. But here it is on our right, so we're going to be very careful to grab the key, and there it is. Our 5th and final key is on the path to the goal ring, so we're going to go ahead, past the said torch area here, hit our checkpoint, and go back one checkpoint before this. So now we're back into the area that has the 4th torch to light with the makeshift shower garden here. So now we're going to make our way to the said goal ring, and we saw this key as well making our way through Cryptic Castle, although it was a blink and you miss it situation because of how fast we move on these said rails. But the final key is located on the right rail here on this final section. So it looks a little weird in this section because now the right rail is on your left, but you just want to jump over with this camera's perspective to your left side, and the key will just be chilling at the very end of this said railway. And there you go. That's all of the keys here in Cryptic Castle. So, let's go ahead and head back over to checkpoint 5. This is where the 3rd torch is located here in the said stage. this is where our said secret door is located. And in order to get to the said secret door, you actually do need to take the top path here where you would go to light the torch. So we're gonna jump off this balloon, and as Eggman says, we're gonna take the upper path, and from here, bounce on another balloon to get right to the secret door. This here houses a shortcut inside of Cryptic Castle. So this pathway is actually gonna save us on traversing the entire bottom section, making our way forward to the 6th checkpoint, which will take us to that makeshift Chow Garden and our 4th torch. But also, if you go this said path, you can light torches in the said section and get yourself a bunch of rings in the same room where you're provided an electric shield. So you get yourself a lot of rings in this pathway, and it is faster, so this path is beneficial to take if you're playing through the neutral mission. And it's even good to play with the said hero mission in the stage as well, because you're mainly focusing on the time bonus for the hero mission, not necessarily enemies, because there are not many aliens to kill in the stage compared to Eggman robots. So this pathway is good for 2 of the 3 missions here. It is technically also useful for the dark mission too, but you are avoiding some of the enemies on the lower pathway for taking the upper path, so a little less score. But that is it for the secret keys here in Cryptic Castle. And now that we got to see ourselves what lies behind the secret door, there's one more thing left to do in this said castle.
Another Chaos Emerald.
What are you doing here, Shadow?
Doctor, I don't want to fight with you, but I need those Chaos Emeralds. They hold the secret to my...
Enough of this nonsense! The Chaos Emeralds belong to me! All of them! No one gets in my way. Those who do will be destroyed. So stand clear or I will crush you! Just as I will those black creatures. Now, let me show you the power of my latest, greatest creation!
The Egg Breaker is back once again. Now we team with Amy to take him down. This one's pretty simple because there's plenty of guns all throughout the arena, and there's also egg pawns that spawn in later on, which also carry more guns for you to use. So this one's gonna be a very simple fight. Just grab a weapon, shoot Eggman at his cockpit, rinse and repeat until his health is at 0. It's pretty much as simple as it sounds. You just go back and forth shooting Eggman constantly. The faster you can mash on that shoot button, the more damage you can do to Eggman over time. Really not that hard of a boss fight, and in fact, with that final bullet, he's done.
Sorry, Doctor, but that Chaos Emerald is mine.
Thanks for the Chaos Emerald, Eggman. Now, if you excuse me, I got places to be.
Perfect.
But now with the Egg Breaker defeated once again, that concludes our time here in Cryptic Castle. There was a lot for us to do here in this said castle. We had 3 different missions, 5 secret keys to get, and a boss fight at the very end to boot. So this level was pretty packed, but we're done here and we're ready to move on to our next stage here in the slightly dark pathway. And we'll be making our way to our next stage in the said path in the next episode. Next time on Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog, we'll continue forward through our next stage here in the slightly dark pathway. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.